What's up everyone, U2 here, and today we're going to be talking about should you pull or skip on Argenti's banner, because I think he offers a lot of pros. I think there are some cons that could be offered here, but let's go ahead and talk about both the pros and cons today of everything that Argenti could bring to your account potentially. The first thing I'm going to talk about is going to be the value of the banners, or the value of, I guess, Silverwolf's banner versus Argenti's banner, talking about how the balancing of the banners is for both of those and which one I think is better, and in what scenario you potentially could want to pull in. Next we'll be talking about how good Argenti is actually as like a character on his own, and then after that we'll be talking about future banners and how he might stack up against those characters there. So now let's go ahead and hop into the first thing on my list here, which is the banner's value. I think the banner's value here is probably the highest of almost any banner we've gotten in the past. Fushwan's banner was really good too. I don't know if it can outbeat that, but this is a really good banner, and that's for the fact that we're getting Lynx, Asta, and Hanya, which with Argenti on that banner could make you a full team. And as a free-to-play or early game player, I think this could be really important, right? Especially as you're building up pity for Argenti, you're getting that extra healer, you're getting the extra buffers for your team. And the big things with buffers and healers are, they are the core for your team. Argenti is not a core for your team. He is basically the person that provides the team to excel and do the damage, but the core for your team that you can swap out and mix and match and literally put this core on any team is going to be those characters that you get there. Asta, Lynx, and also Hanya as well, right? So this is why this banner is so good. This also applies to the Silverwolf banner as well, but we're going to talk about the comparison between those two banners in a second here. Argenti's banner overall I do think is a more balanced banner, and the reason why I think it's pretty balanced is because they give you a DPS. They give you a pretty solid DPS at that. He does have the highest damage multiplier for his ult in the game. Next, they give you a healer. So on top of this, you have Natasha as a free-to-play healer, and then you also have Lynx. So that gives you two options to build out both teams with. On top of this, you can also build out maybe a free-to-play 4-star character, or like Danny or something like that, to be your additional DPS role there on a separate team, right? On top of this, we're also getting Asta and Hanya, which both of these characters have something unique. They both offer speed to one of your characters. Asta offers speed to the whole team, and Hanya offers speed and attack percentage to one character, whereas, you know, Asta offers attack percentage and speed to every character on your team. So these can also be divided up between teams as well. You could run Asta on one team, Hanya on one team. Like, this banner gives you so much to work with as far as like full just overall account value, especially for free-to-play and like early game players like I mentioned before. But let's go ahead and compare it to like something like a Silverwolf banner, right? Whereas I think this banner is more overall balanced. It does give you a really strong DPS as well, these supports. You know, Silverwolf's not a DPS. Silverwolf can do decent damage, right? If you're breaking the enemy shield and you're running on a break set, you're doing quantum break and stuff like that. That can help you out, right? But I think her banner is more centralized to like the support side, right? So if you already have maybe a good DPS on your account, or two good DPSs on your account, but you don't have very many support characters, then I think Silverwolf's banner could be the way for you to go. Now, a video I did the other day talked about how Silverwolf's getting power crept, and you know, if you're later in the game, then this banner might not be as beneficial for you, because you might have like a lot of DPSs, and Silverwolf really doesn't bring as much to the table as someone like an E6 Pela does, right? My whole point here with this is, I think Argenti is a better overall banner. If you're just starting out the game, and maybe you picked up like a Jingli Yu or something like that, I think that pulling on Silverwolf's banner could be better for you. I mean, that's my opinion on that. I think that her banner does offer you more as like a core group of characters that you can use on just about every team there than what Argenti's does. But now, like I said, if you're just starting out the game this patch, you didn't pull for Hua, this is going to be the best banner overall to pull for, because it gives you a DPS, like I said before, a healer, a second healer at that, and then two other support characters. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about Argenti himself, because we've already talked about Silverwolf in the previous video and her diminishing value, and the reason why she has diminishing value is because of her main shtick is changing the weakness of an enemy, right? And if you have a lot of characters in the game, the more characters that get released, the less beneficial she becomes to that role. The same thing can be said for DPS as well, right? DPS depreciate over time more than any other character in this game. Just because they release DPSs so frequently in the game, they depreciate more in value over time. This doesn't mean they're going to become bad. This doesn't mean they're going to be trash. Like, if you looked at this patch right now, Jing Yuan in Memory of Chaos right now is absolutely slapping, because first of all, he got support from his follow-up set. He also got support from the Memory of Chaos as well, changing the buffs and orienting those buffs. So I don't think a unit will ever be like trash. I think there will be some patches and some updates where they're not useful, especially say like the main two banner units aren't like a physical unit on the banner, or say there's not like a certain typing on that banner, or say the character's damage typing is a lot different than what you currently have, right? Whereas, you know, all of his attack comes off of his ultimate move, but say a new character's released and most of their damage comes from their skill or basic attack damage, Memory of Chaos could structure it in a way where they do more damage than your Argenti would. So there's the Memory of Chaos is always ever changing. That's like the in-game content right now. So I don't think he's going to be good forever, like the best thing since sliced bread forever, and I don't think he's going to be the worst thing ever either, because they do provide a lot of supports for their characters. But as far as what Argenti does, he's a very simple and basic kit. You basically skill, 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 skill. Don't use the first ult because he does have 2 ultimates. Use the second ult, which is the higher costing ult, because that's the one that gives you the higher damage multiplier to all enemies, and then gives you, you know, the highest damage multiplier in the game, especially against single target enemies, because it re-hits that enemy 6 times in a row. So it kind of works like Sampo or Asta works in that matter. But the damage multiplier is a lot higher, so you're doing a lot more damage there. And with it having a simple kit, I think it's going to be easier for like newer players coming to the game to actually adapt to Argenti's kit, just because it is skill, 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 and then ultimate and stuff like that. But where I think that players might want to skip here is because they don't like a simplistic kit. Maybe they want to have more fun with their kit. He works in a way like a lot of DPSs work. You know, like I said before, you skill and ult. I think maybe saving up for version 1.6 could be a better option for you in this aspect if you don't like very simple characters, because I think 1.6, can't talk about leaks, but I think 1.6 will bring you that. I think 1.6 brings a lot of like unique and fun characters to play, more so than what this patch is. We have Hua, which provides energy and healing. We have Argenti, which just provides damage, right? I think when Dr. Ratio comes out and Ruan Mei comes out, oh boy. I mean, we can't, like I said, talk about leaks here, but their kits look insane. Like, the amount that Dr. Ratio does is just crazy. Like, in the amount of mechanics, I guess, you could use, or how you need to play him, or what teams you need to play him with, is just very interesting to me, and more interesting to me than actually Argenti is. Now, personally, I like Argenti's design. I'm pulling for Argenti on my main account, and I'll be pulling for probably Ruan Mei on my main account as well, but on my alt account, I'll be pulling for Dr. Ratio. But overall, I think that if you're wanting a more unique character, or you're wanting more fun to play characters, then maybe 1.6 is the option, and that's what we're going to talk about now, the version 1.6, because not only do they offer, I think, more unique characters to play with, I think they offer just better characters overall to play. I think looking at, you know, obviously this can change, right? Looking at what Dr. Ratio does already, I think that he does, I think he is a little bit better than Argenti is. Actually, as far as like the skill he does, as far as like the type of damage he does, as far as just, you know, the buffs he receives, like how he plays off the enemies, I think he will be better. And on top of this, we're getting Ruan Mei as well. And you saw the last 5-star Harmony character we got, which was Bronya. We have never gotten a featured 5-star Harmony character in the game, which leads me to believe I think Ruan Mei is going to be absolutely busted. And I think I'm just judging this off of the other Harmony characters in the game. I could be completely wrong on this, like I said before, that things can change, a lot of stuff can happen, but I think Ruan Mei is going to be cracked. Do I think she's going to be as good as Bronya? I think she could be on the same level as Bronya for sure, but that's going to be all at the time. Anyways, guys, those are my current thoughts on Argenti. Should you pull, should you summon? That's up to you at the end of the day. Hopefully, some of these insights that I provided today maybe help you out those summonings. I think if you're a new free-to-play player coming to the game, this is a must summon. I think this is a really good to summon on banner. I think if you're later in the game, it might not have as much value to you, right? It's like pulling like a more niche DPS, or like pulling like a more niche unit to help your account out, or help the current teams you have already. Anyways, gamers, that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I would really appreciate that. And just before we leave, we're going to have a couple more videos coming out talking about a lot of build guides. And sorry these videos aren't edited well. I'm sick, so my voice sounds like shit. And also, we're leaving for Japan soon. This video is really not meant to be a much edited video. It's just me talking to you, right? So yeah, hope you gamers enjoyed today's video. Hope you enjoy all the build guides coming out, because there's going to be a lot of them. I'll make a video on that right before I leave, though. Anyways, see you guys later. Hope you enjoyed, and bye.